Hey YouTubers. So this is the second one. About a year ago I got one from New Holland. And this is John Deere. It's going to give me $2,000 extra if I trade in my Kubota for one of their tractors. Now, I'll tell you up front, I don't have a problem with New Holland or John Deere. They're both fine tractors, and I looked into a lot of different tractors when I bought mine back in 2005. Actually, I've been looking around for a couple years. You always look and try to get the best deal on something. But they'd give me 0% fine. I don't know if you can read the fine print here, but 0% APR for 60 months. Wow. Why didn't they offer that to me up front? When I went to them, they didn't offer me 0% financing or a $2,000 bonus. But now that I bought an orange tractor, and apparently New Holland and John Deere both have been, embarrassed by that or something, they send me a letter wanting me to trade. Well, here's the thing. You done lost out, both of you. I mean, I don't have nothing against your tractors, and they're fine. I looked into John Deere's, a lot of them. I was going to buy a 790. And it turns out they're made in Korea. Those, you can pay a lot more for an American-made John Deere tractor. New Holland, I had a little TC, I think it was a TC35. It was like one of the little boomers or something like that. I had a tractor loader backhoe. It was a bush hog loader and backhoe with it. It was like $30-some thousand. Had it done, financing figured out, and I asked the guy, "Can you throw in that $300 scraper blade?" It was this little 6-foot scraper blade. Now the retail was $300. I'm sure they didn't pay $300 for it if they're selling it for that. And the guy was like, "No." Well, ain't wait some way to work with someone, because if you're spending $30,000 on a tractor loader backhoe and you can't throw in a $300 freaking blade, I walked out. That was the end. They lost, and they sent me a letter, something like this, a year or two back, about it, and I'm like, But anyway, when I went down to Parks to get my Kubota, they was a little bit more flexible with me. They worked with me. I bought the tractor loader and the blade, which, they had no problem with the $300 blade going with it. But, because, they're selling, I think it was like 14, 15 grand for the 3400 and the loader was like an LA 463 or something. But they worked with me. Then I went back later that fall and I got the backhoe and the aux valve and stuff put on. I think the total was about $22,000. I saved a lot of money going with Kubota, and I haven't had any problems with mine. Well, the upper link rusted up. That was because I never took it apart and greased it, and I did have to replace the battery. I forgot to tell you guys that before, but the battery that came in, it was like a 4.5 or a 5.5 year battery, and this is 2014. I replaced it this January. The cold finally got to it. It takes a lot to cycle glow plugs for 5 seconds and crank the engine, but so yeah, I had to put a new battery in it. But I did get 9 years out of a 4 or 5.5 year battery. Can't complain there. Don't send me this stuff. I mean, if you were wanting my business, you should have dealt with me when I was buying a tractor. Just letting y'all know this. So, if you're a John Deere or a New Holland salesman, you might want to just think about the philosophy. After the person has bought a tractor is not the time to try to make a deal with them. Because I'm happy with mine and I want to keep it. Because the price of equipment has went way up. It's crazy now. I couldn't get what I got for about $22,000. Couldn't even touch it for that now. But anyway, don't have nothing against y'all, but if you need to work with the people when they come and they want to buy, and instead of sending us after the fact and saying, oh, we can help you out. Well, you didn't help me out when I needed it, so no thanks. I don't, you all, New Holland and John Deere, they all make fine tractors, but their salesmen, leaves a little bit to be desired. If someone's serious and they talk financing with you, throw in the $300 freaking blade. I didn't try to talk him down other than that. And if he's that inflexible, well, walk out, done. He lost it. But, I don't know. I see a lot of people, Coyote tractors. I've never actually played around and used one. Don't know how they are. Mahindra. I've looked at them. They look pretty decent tractors. One thing I don't like about their company is they say that they built the Jeep. Well, I don't know. I know that the little Jeep, the Army Jeeps, was developed and started production by a company called Willys Overland Corporation. That's why it was called Willys Jeeps. And I know that some other companies helped make them for the war effort. Because my dad was always looking for a Ford Jeep. And yes, Ford did make some of the Jeeps back then. But it's funny because they have Ford on the little door thing. But anyway, yeah, I always wanted to find a Ford Jeep. But anyway, Mahindra didn't have their name on that Jeep. Unless they bought the company that does, I don't know. You hear a lot of these companies say all kind of atrocious stuff like ADT. I love how they say, we've been in business since 18-something. Really? You've been making house alarms and stuff back in the 1800s? I mean, how did that work? I mean, they must have bought a company that was around in the 1800s and they just say that. I don't know. But hear a lot of weird things from a lot of companies, and some of it's BS, but this is BS. When someone comes to your showroom, that's when you deal, not because you're embarrassed because Kubota has, decent sales and stuff. I'm not saying nothing bad about y'all, but, get it together. I would have had a green tractor, but the 790, which is in the price range that I could afford, and some people say, oh, you pay more money for something that's better. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I don't buy a luxury car because I ain't putting $40-some thousand into a car with leather seats and some fancy gadgetry in it. My car gets me from point A to point B, or my truck gets me from point A to point B. And I don't, just because something is fancy and is priced more expensive doesn't always make it better. But, I don't need air conditioning in a cab and windshield wipers and strobe lights and radios, and well, I don't know. I like to have a radio, and a cab would be nice on them colder days. But you don't need all the gadgetry for a tractor, because it's a tractor. I would have probably busted the cab off mine 10 times over on trees and stuff. If you're plowing and you're trying to look down, you're not always looking up. I hit my roll bar and a couple things, and I know I've been whacked with limbs and stuff. I probably would have been placing windows in the cab if I'd have one on mine, but it'd be nice in the winter. But no thanks, John Deere. I mean, and don't send me this crap, because I've already made my decision, and you passed me over, and I bought me a Kubota. So, and I don't regret it one bit. Thank you for listening.